So there's some teams out there in the Big 12, basically setting themselves apart as, the class of the Big 12. And there's a couple of schools from down south, Texas and Oklahoma, who kind of have a deal going where, as far as fan bases go, they're trying to set themselves apart from the rest of the Big 12 by saying, we are the class of the Big 12. And I just want to make a couple points here. And this is of no offense to those fans, because God knows we need Oklahoma Sooner fans and we need Texas Longhorns fans more than we need anything. I mean, they're a great part of college football. And I have a lot of respect, especially for Oklahoma being a Nebraska fan, because of all the years of the tradition and the rivalry. But ESPN recently compiled a list of all the Division 1A teams and put them in order as far as prestige. The top prestigious teams are the most prestigious teams of all time. 3 Big 12 schools are in the top 7, which is, that speaks a lot to its own. The Big 12 is where it's at. Number 1, I tip my hat to you, Oklahoma, 7 national titles. You can say whatever you want, but, Oklahoma, when you looked at the list, it was hands down. So, tip my hat to Oklahoma and all you fans down there. Most prestigious college football team of all time. Then number 2 through 4 was USC, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Number 5, Nebraska. 5 national titles. 3 Heisman Trophy winners. 2 sets of back-to-back national titles. In fact, in the mid-90s, when you look, we had 3 out of 4 years. We were actually 2 plays away. And anybody can go back and look if they really want to challenge this, but Nebraska was 2 plays away from having 5 straight national titles. 5 straight. Granted, we got 3 out of 4. Nothing to sneeze at, but almost 5 straight at the end of the Osborne era. So, when you look at what happened to Nebraska, Osborne retired. Granted, you had an idiot who hired another idiot to come in and coach after Solich left. I felt bad for Frank Solich. Granted, he didn't exactly get it done. Did beat Oklahoma in 2000 or 2001. Had a heck of a good year. Got to the national title game, but just didn't get it done. But then after that, Callahan's like everybody. Oh, Nebraska's down. They're not going to be what they used to be. Guess what? You are wrong. Nebraska is always going to get back to where it once was, because for one, Tom Osborne's back. You put him in charge, and who knows more about college football than he does. And another thing, the top schools, no matter who you are, whether you're Texas Longhorns, Oklahoma Sooners, Nebraska Cornhuskers, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Miami, whoever it is, they're always going to get back to that level. If you've been at the top, you will get back there. If you're consistently there, like, when we're talking the top 10 of all time in prestige, those schools are always going to come back around. And the reason why is because, you get the fan base is going to keep pumping money into that school no matter what. You can be 1-8, and Memorial Stadium is still going to be full on Saturday. So you're always going to have that money coming in, and you're going to be able to keep those facilities at top notch. Do whatever you got to do. And if you always make the right hiring choices as far as coaches, which I think is the number one key, you're going to always get back there. And Nebraska, now they have the coach they want in Bo Pelini. There's no question Nebraska is going to be back in that top 5 range before long. It's just a matter of time. And I just wanted to make this point that after you go to Texas, who is number 7 on this list of most prestigious teams of all time, you go clear to number 20 before you get another team in the Big 12. So that says a lot about the top 3. The top 3, as far as prestige in the Big 12, they're way above the rest. You go to number 20, it's Texas A&M. You go to number 22, I don't know how they made this list, this must have been Fowler must have something to do with this because Colorado's number 22. How that happened, I have no clue. They should be down in the 40s or 50s as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, so I just want those people from Oklahoma and Texas to know we love you, but Nebraska is coming back in a big way, and I love the competition. You guys say whatever you want to say because I got more than enough respect for you guys, and I hope that you guys have respect for us. I know the Oklahoma fans do. Texas fans, Mac Brown has always been good. He says he comes into Lincoln and he loves the Nebraska fans. So I think there's some mutual respect there too. But let's hold the phone on the Texas fans trying to say, that they outclass the rest of the Big 12, because that's not the case. Nebraska, yes, they had a few down years, but Texas has had enough talent. They should, in the last 20 years, if they, had their act together, they'd have 5 national championships in that time by now. If they had their act together, the talent they get is unbelievable. Nebraska won national titles, when they were in '95, when they had arguably one of the best teams of all time. They had 5 out of their 22 starters were former walk-ons, so we do a lot more with a lot less talent, and Nebraska is going to be there once again. So, I just wanted everybody to know, Nebraska, top 5 of the most prestigious teams of all time. And then I look at another list. You're talking about the top 10 teams of all time they rated on ESPN recently. Number 1 and number 3 were Nebraska teams. The '71 Nebraska team with Johnny Rodgers and Glover and all those fellas were the number 1 team of all time, and number 3 was the '95 team where you had Terrell Farley, Lawrence Phillips, Tommy Frazier, and Amon Green and many others. Brooke Behringer, some of the greatest Huskers of all time. So, when you're talking 2 of the top 3 best teams of all time are Nebraska teams. And we are the winningest team since 1950. So, other Nebraska fans, come out, show your support. Bring out some videos of your own. Show these people what Nebraska is all about, because apparently they don't know. Apparently they don't know that Nebraska is where it's at when you're talking about college football. And Nebraska will be at the top of the Big 12 again. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. But for now, Oklahoma, like I said, I tip your hat to you. Texas, you pulled the stuff with having the asterisk next to the Big 12 title for 2008 on your board back, and I got no respect. Well, I do respect you, but I got no respect for that particular instance because you didn't win. They have a setup, and it's, they have a particular way to find out who the champion is. Sorry you didn't do all of what it took. Sorry you lost to Texas Tech last year. We're sorry. I've heard nothing but whining from Texas. And, whine all you want, but you didn't do what you had to do. Oklahoma did. So, sorry about that. But both of y'all, Nebraska's going to be back on top before you know it. And it's just a matter of time.